Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Anjana Gupta Devdasi and Rohini Kumar Balram Das from Alabama.
Hare Krishna, Rohini Kumari Mataji. Anjana Gopika Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call today. We welcome once again all the devotees on the call, and we have His Grace Naveen Krishna Prabhuji for giving Bhagavatam class this morning. So, Prabhuji, are you on the call?
Hare Krishna, Priya and humble obeisances, all of the Prabhupada, all of to Guru Maharaj, all of the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, yeah, I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And
Hare Krishna. So, today's Bhagavatam class is on chapter 32, text 23, third canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritam Naram Chedvarotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tudaya Mudiret. Dashpeshu Badreshu Nitam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. So I'm going to read the verse, text 23. Vasudeva Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janate Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. Vasudeva Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayate Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. Word by word translation. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vasudev, and to Krishna, Bhagavate, the personality of Godhead, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, Prayojitaha, discharged. Janayati, produces, Ashu, very soon. Vairagyam, detachment, Jnanam, knowledge. Yat, which, Brahma Darshanam, self-realization. Translation. Engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in knowledge and detachment, as well as in self-realization. Purport. It is said by a less intelligent man that Bhakti Yoga or devotional service is meant for persons who are not advanced in transcendental knowledge and renunciation. But the fact is that one engages in the devotional service of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness. He doesn't have to attempt separately to practice detachment or to wait for an awakening of transcendental knowledge. It is said that one who engages unflinchingly in devotional service of the Lord actually has all the good qualities of the demigods developed in him automatically. One cannot discover how such good qualities develop in the body of a devotee. But actually it happens. There is one instance where a hunter was taking pleasure in killing animals. But after becoming a devotee, he was not prepared to kill even an ant. So, such is the quality of a devotee. Those who are very eager to advance in transcendental knowledge can engage themselves in pure devotional service without wasting time in mental speculation. For arriving at the positive conclusions of knowledge in the absolute truth, the word Brahma Darshanam is significant in this verse. Brahma Darshana means to realize or to understand the transcendence. One who engages in the service of Vasudeva can actually realize what Brahman is. If Brahman is impersonal, then there is no question of darshanam, which means seeing face to face. Darshanam refers to seeing the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, unless the seer and the seeing of persons, there is no darshanam. Brahma darshanam means that as soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can at once realize what impersonal Brahman is. Let me read this again, the sentence again. Brahma Darshana means that as soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can at once realize what impersonal Brahman is. A devotee does not need to make separate investigations to understand the nature of Brahman. Bhagavad Gita also confirms this. Brahma bhuyayaha kalpate. A devotee at once becomes a self-realized soul in the absolute truth. A very, very beautiful explanation Prabhupada gave. And let us start our discussion. Before starting our discussion, we'll chant the Mangala prayers, Mangalachan prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumitanena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sacha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tatta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarabhyasya cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. So, our chapter entitled as Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. So, in connection with the discussion that's going on between Kapil Muni and his mother, we find that from the previous verses how Kapil Muni is advising his mother, that besides all the different ways that he's been explaining this, either the yogis, the jnanis, and all the different ways we've been discussing of God realization, Kapil Muni makes it clearer that a mother, being situated in this Vatsala Bhava, and she is so fortunate, having the Lord Himself as her son. So there's no much any other type of process of self-realization for her. That's the absolute for her. So even it's explained that full attention should be given to the worship of the Lord. And that can only be achieved by bhakti. Because when we practice bhakti, we develop certain qualities. Qualities in terms of our own qualities. Krishna actually is nirguna. Krishna doesn't have any material qualities. Krishna is nirguna. Krishna is never contaminated by material qualities. So for our service to be on the same platform, transcendental, we have, in the course of our sadhana bhakti, we automatically develop those spiritual qualities as Krishna. So just like Srila Prabhupada will give the example of the electricity, for instance, in the powerhouse, so much of megawatt of electricity is being produced, and at home we get only 110 volts of electricity. But it's the same electricity, but in terms of quantity, it's different. So same here, Srila Prabhupada will always mention that we are qualitatively the same, but quantitatively we are different. So bhakti, through the process of bhakti, all these attractive spiritual qualities are revealed. We develop those qualities naturally as we practice our bhakti to Krishna. And one of the fruit of bhakti is it quickly produces detachment, and knowledge is being revealed. Yeah, just like the yogis, they go and they attain Brahma realization. Here in the shloka, the last sentence of the shloka is Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. So we're talking about Brahma Darshanam, which means realization of Brahman. So for the devotees, there's no, as I was repeating in the purport, for the devotees, there's no question of adopting any separate endeavor to try to realize impersonal Brahman. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Brahma Darshana means as soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can at once realize the impersonal Brahman is what Brahman is. So you don't need to go through an ascending process of knowledge. Our process of knowledge, acquiring knowledge, is in a descending order. We don't, just like naturally we are trained from childhood, okay, we go to elementary school, then we go to secondary school, then we go to tertiary education, we go through all those. We are trying to achieve knowledge in an ascending order. But in bhakti, the process of knowledge is in a descending order. So we are kripa patra. We, through the process of bhakti, we make ourselves a recipient of knowledge. So when we practice our sadhana and become a recipient of that knowledge through the parampara, through by serving our spiritual master, and that's like last time I was singing that when we chant the Guru Puja, the after darshan, right? We say Vedegay charito, prema bhakti yaha hote avidya vinashayate. Vedega yaha charito. All the Vedas, all the scriptures are mentioning that prema bhakti yaha hote avidya vinashayate. When we serve with bhakti, when we develop attachment to our spiritual master, right? Prema bhakti yaha hote avidya. All the ignorance is being destroyed and knowledge is revealed. So as the purport of all Vedic literatures are revealed by simply serving the spiritual master and following the instruction of the spiritual master. Divya Gyan Hide Prakashito. Yeah, this Divya Gyan comes is revealed through in our heart, right? With this process of devotional service and serving our spiritual master. So, in the previous verses, after describing these different modes and different ways of detachment, Kapil Muni advises his mother to surrender, just to surrender to the Lord. And not only when Kapil Muni describes, he gives the characteristic of those people, what happens to them, what is the results of their actions, what would be their, like for instance, in the beginning, when in the beginning of this chapter itself, Kapil Muni will explain about how intelligent people who do not desire the results of their action, for instance, they offer the results to the Lord. They are freed from attachment. They are more peaceful. They get situated in pure Krishna consciousness. Comparing the Sakam Karma people with the Nishkam Karma practitioners. So all these things have been described. Basically, they do not desire anything else except the service of Krishna at the end. So that is the meaning of being unattached. Attached is nisangaha. Nisanga nyasta karmana. And then their karma, they offer the results of the action to Krishna. So that being said, that bhakti, by worshipping the Lord, we have to understand what is the purpose of our worship. And the purpose of the worship, compared to other processes, we have a very direct process of worship. But the purpose of worship is, I always mention that we don't put ourselves in the center in the purpose of worship. If you analyze different processes of self-realization, whether it is karma yoga, jnana yoga, or dhyana yoga, it's always about us, how we are making progress from point A to B, from B to C. It's always in an ascending order. Maybe people didn't bring that to their attention. But if we analyze, you will see that it's always in the ascending order. And it's always about us, how I am progressing. And although in Bhakti also we are we have introspection that we do about how we are making progress in the path of Bhakti. But the center is Krishna, is God. Where there, the center is us, is ourselves, our own self. That's why the tendency of the Mayavadi is to fuse with the Lord in order to trying to destroy one's identity and to eliminate to eliminate the self. Because if you remember in the previous text, Prabhupada would say, I think it is in the 11 or 12, Prabhupada in the purport, actually, it's excellent. Prabhupada would say that Mayavadis and Vaishnavas both want to merge in the Supreme Lord. But Vaishnavas do not lose their identities. They want to keep the identity of lover, parent, friend, or servant. So this merging for Vaishnavas, that means it's a different meaning. Mayavadi oneness is different, and the Vaishnava's oneness is completely different. In the transcendental world, Srila Prabhupada explains the purport. The servant and the master are one because they are on the same absolute platform. So although the relationship is servant and master, both the servant and the served stand on the same platform. That is oneness. So Lord Kapila is advised his mother that she did not need of any indirect process to go through this Brahman realization, then Paramatma realization, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because she was already situated in the direct process. Simply because the Supreme Lord has taken birth as a son. So the oneness for the devotee, for the Vaishnavas, is to be able to serve the Lord on the same transcendent platform. Means we have to reach that transcendent platform, which for the yogis, for the other practitioners, it's more difficult. They at the end, because they have to fight against themselves, because they can't get rid of their own ego. So they, at the end, they want to not to identify with the self, because they are looking for that oneness, but they're looking for that oneness in the wrong direction. They're not unable to understand. That is that knowledge. But unfortunately, when you talk to people, nowadays, when you talk to people, they will, like in India or other places, they will think that bhakti comes before, then impersonalism. Means, like I asked somebody and we discussed, and then from South India, and we were saying bhakti is something preliminary, but the absolute is to become one with God. That is a philosophy. You see, they consider that like that. They consider practicing bhakti to be in the beginning stage, and the last final stage is in person, to emerge in Brahman. So that's a general tendency in India it's like that, and in most spiritual communities, I don't want to mention names, but you know very well that you see that they have that impersonation. Just why in our Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantra we say Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi. This is Paschat-desh. It means not even Paschat-desh, because the Paschat-desh is influence is in India as well. So even in India, people are contaminated with this Nivishesha and Sunyavadi. Nivishesha means impersonalism, and Sunyavadi means voidism. People find it much more easier for them to accept an impersonal God rather than a personal God, for the simple reason that they don't like to have an authority, to work under an authority and serve under an authority. They like to be on their own, and they enjoy their own independence, and they want to enjoy their own independence and serve as they please. So I was listening to my Guru Maharaj the other day, and he was mentioning how when he was serving Srila Prabhupada, once he was sitting next to Srila Prabhupada, and then and he became emotional, and he asked Srila Prabhupada that when the spiritual master is recommending, is become more strict, and is how do you say that, is a bit, some spiritual master they give instruction, but some instruction becomes more concerned about the disciples, and they chastise them. So my Guru Maharaj was asking to Srila Prabhupada what we should do when the spiritual master chastises the disciple. And then Srila Prabhupada said the disciple should be happy. The spiritual master should be happy. Then Maharaj asked why, because getting chastisement, how can you be happy? You say that Srila Prabhupada said that in the whole world, when we are small, we have our father. When we do something wrong, we are being rectified. And when we grow up as adults, and in the world, it's very rare to be rectified when we commit mistakes, or there's no one. Except in the old days, people would believe, I remember, they have like extended family, where they will have the grandparents, everybody's staying in the same house. So the elder member of the families are like well respected, and even the younger generation won't dare to commit any mistake and be very respectful, because they have this fear of the elders, and they have this respect for the elders. So this is how the family unit in India was very strong, and because of that fear of committing any mistake, they will always try to practice and be careful of their actions and whatever they do. Nowadays, no one cares. So that's a point I wanted to make here, that it's always through the mercy of the spiritual master, the guidance of the spiritual master, and the chastisement of the spiritual master, that we develop those qualities gradually. It's like there's another example which is being given. Even any precious stone, so example, a diamond, it has to be cut appropriately so that it shines nicely. It has to be polished. Any jewelry, any precious stones, they have to be polished. In the same way, we need that. We need to be polished, so all those qualities comes out of us. But here it's mentioned in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, that it is said that one who engages unflinchingly in devotional service of the Lord actually has all the good qualities of the demigods developed in him automatically. And one cannot discover how such good qualities develop in the body of a devotee. But it actually happens. Shri said it actually happens. And the example is given here when the hunter, Magari hunter, and the hunter, he used to kill the animals half dead and half alive. That is very, very painful for some jiva who is half dead and half alive. And it happened that Narad Muni was passing through that forest and saw this, and he felt so. It was so painful because sadhus, they are able to feel the pain of other living entities, and he wanted to meet that person, that hunter who did this to all these living entities, pashi, all these animals. And as he was moving in the forest, and he saw the hunter, and the first thing, usually people, even if we are very sinful, they don't have daya, they don't have mercy because of extreme absorption in killing and in tamaguna, basically. So, but the sadhu, the devotee, the pure devotee has certain vibration. He always carries certain vibration, and simply by his association, the hunter became a bit, first of all, he was a bit aggressive, but simply by association, by being in the presence of Narad Muni, the hunter became a bit, trying to listen to what he's saying. Then he asked him, why you're killing these animals? Why don't you kill them completely? Why you're half killing them and letting them suffer? Then he was saying that I get so much pleasure by doing this. Hey, can you imagine? He's saying that I'm by killing these animals in such a way, I'm getting pleasure. And this was taught by my ancestors, how to kill like that. And then, so Narad Muni so it's a bit hard for us. If we put ourselves in a situation, we go to preach. We always, when I was a brahmachari, we used to go and preach in different places. We go on the bus and then we try to distribute books to other people. And here in America, they were distributing books all over the place, in the airports and everywhere, all different places. So we meet the different types of people, right? And we try to, preach to them and try to distribute spiritual literature and try to get them, at least try to help them. So we know when we do that how hard it is. If we meet different types of people will be in different modes. Some people will be in the mode of ignorance mode. Some will be in mode of passion. Some will be in mode of goodness. We know very well that those people who are in mode of goodness, it's much more easier for them to be given a spiritual literature or anything. They will stop and listen. They feel attracted to the books. But people who are in mode of ignorance, it's so hard to break that barrier. It's like a big wall in front of us and them. So it's very hard to be able to do that. So we know one thing, that we as devotees, we always pray before going. We do our sadhana, we chant our rounds strongly and with full attention in the morning. We wake up for Mangalarti, chant our rounds, do whatever is necessary to be done, because we know that it's that energy that we're going to get through our practice of devotional service that we're going to use a whole day to be able to distribute Prabhupada literature and books. And we know very well if I am slack in my sadhana in the morning, I won't be able to distribute books. My whole day won't be able to go well. I won't be able to do anything. So that was the mood in the strength. And Srila Prabhupada would say, purity is a force. So by our practice of devotional service, we develop a level of purity where we can exhibit that purity, and those things can't be hidden. It can't be hidden because it's something that people can see. Once I was in Haridwar and I was distributing Bhagavad Gita or something like that. I mean, the very beginning stage. So, people have a tendency to think, okay, if you're distributing this book, you have to be just like we were talking about yoga. For instance, there were different levels of yoga. So people directly, some people will ask us, okay, if you talk about yoga, then it means you have to be a yogi. Do you practice yoga? Do you do this, do that? In the beginning, we were just some new devotees and trying to chant and do sadhana and distribute books. So how would you? Then they asked us, okay, you must be practicing yoga. And then he was saying that, how can you preach something and speak about something that you don't practice? So that was a bit hard for us in the beginning, but we say, okay, we're not talking about the yoga, the Ashtanga yoga thing, but we're talking about the Bhakti yoga, which is, we find our ways. So Krishna gave us intelligence how to find ways, and he put words in our mouth so as we can preach and at least, serve Srila Prabhupada by distributing his book. So it was very hard there. When people who already know something, so difficult to distribute or to make them. So that's what here. That is, Narad Muni is different. We can't compare ourselves with Narad Muni. So actually, this whole story is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you can read that, that would be good. The hunter actually is in the forest of Prayag, and he was very fortunate to meet Narad Muni. So we can see that there is different ways in the Skanda Puran. If they talk about Satnarayan Katha, they do this as well. So Narad Muni is always traveling, and he always tried to return. He travels to Vaikuntha and the different planets and trying to help people around. So that's the mood. And in this particular circumstance, when Narad Muni meets this hunter, Prayag, in the forest of Prayag, Narad Muni actually was visiting from Vaikuntha after meeting the Lord Vishnu. So when Narad Muni came to Prayag, actually Prayag is a place where we have the Sangam. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Actually, Saraswati is down, but we have Ganga, Yamuna there, and at confluence. And he wanted to come there and to bathe in that place. So while passing through the forest, then Narad Muni saw these animals. Actually, he saw a bird lying on the ground, and the bird was half killed. And the bird was chirping. The bird was crying, and very painfully, because the arrow was still in the body of the bird. And then when he was going further, and he saw these the deers also were there like that, and the same agony, same pain was there. And then he saw a boar and a rabbit, all these different animals were there. And he started thinking, who is this foolish person who is committing such sinful activity by performing this? So when we become a devotee, actually, our drishti changes. The way we look at the world changes, and the devotees of the Lord, as devotees, we become very compassionate upon seeing the suffering of other living entity. So, and now we can analyze this. Remember, we were talking, I think in the beginning of the chapter, we talked about Grihamedi and Grihastas. As devotees, we are Grihastas. Our concern is fertilization. Whereas Grihamedis, their concern is self-gratification. They are always into competition with each other. If somebody is suffering, they are happy. You see, oh yeah, it's my competitor is suffering as in some problem. So, but devotees are different. If somebody is suffering, we feel compassionate. Remember that. So if some person, or it can be our neighbor, it can be anybody who is suffering, and if we don't feel any compassion in our heart for the person, it means something's wrong in our practice of devotional service. So that's why we have to, when we read, when we study, when we analyze the different pastimes of Krishna and Bhagavatam, we should imbibe those things and put them into practice. So if there is some problem, if we happen to see some living entity suffering and we don't feel compassion for them, it means we are in big trouble. So there is something wrong. We're not in the proper path. There is something, we're doing something wrong. So here, coming back to the story. So when Narad Muni saw the hunter was बहुत भयंकर था. The hunter's eyes, red eyes, dog body, they appeared very dangerous. It's just like Srila Prabhupada mentions that the hunter was looking like an associate of Yamraj. Yeah, Yamdut jaise. So Narad Muni approached him, and when he approached his power, see, Narad Muni also is very powerful. He has some yogic power, but isn't used this yogic power so much. But as he was passing through the forest, the different animals who were caught in the hunter's trap, they fled away. So as he was walking, his presence, the animal was trapped. They get the Shakti to break through the hunter's trap and go away. So that made the hunter became actually very angry, and he was the hunter was cursing Narad Muni. Oh, what you're doing? You are like liberating all those all my animals that I caught. But due to the vibration that came from Narad Muni, the hunter could not proceed because Narad Muni, any spiritual person, they have nice vibration, positive vibration coming out of it. That has an effect on a person. That's what I was saying, that in the beginning stage when we were distributing books, we were very, very conscientious that we have to perform our bhakti because people will pick it up. If we go in the moods of material nature, we become like them, then big problem. Not even a book will go. In the beginning, it was so, we were like always chanting and always be in that mood because we know people pick up vibes quickly. So, in the same way here, the hunter, by the presence of Narad Muni, couldn't say much. He couldn't manifest his tamaguna. He could have attacked Narad Muni, but he became more humble, more gentle. And in that gentle behavior, he asked Narad Muni that why he came here while he was hunting. Is there any, you lost your way? Or why you come here? And all these animals are going away by your presence. Then Narad Muni says, I'm sorry. He didn't come and say, like, cursed him or say, oh, what are you doing? You know, why are you killing all these people? He didn't come and chastise him. Narad Muni didn't chastise the hunter right away saying, oh, why are you killing them? Oh, you will go to hell. You will do this, don't do that. No, he didn't say all this. He said, humbly he said, I am sorry that because me coming here, all your animals are fleeing from the traps. So Narad Muni says sorry. So he said that, I've seen all these animals suffering there, so that's why I came to ask you, I came to inquire from you. And as I was walking on my path, there were so many deer, rabbits, boars, all the different animals were lying on the forest floor, half dead. So I wanted to know who's committing these sinful acts. And the hunter replied that, whatever you see, whatever you've been seeing, this is okay, this is all right. And it was done by me. Then Narad Muni says, if you are hunting, why don't you kill them? Why you have to leave them like half dead? And they are suffering like that. And that's a great sin. If you want to kill an animal, you just kill it completely. Don't leave, why you have to leave them half killed? Then the hunter says, my name is Mrigari. Mrigari means, in Sanskrit, enemy of the animals. I am simply following the teachings of my father who taught me to half-kill animals and leave them around. And when a half-dead animal suffers, I take great pleasure. That's why I'm saying this is pleasure for him. Then Narad Muni, humbly, he begged. He didn't forcefully or usko dhara karke. Usually, there was one devotee when he was to distribute books, he will make people scared. And by showing the pictures, in the Bhagavad Gita we have the pictures. When you eat this the meat, and then you have a picture of a hog, of a pig, the tree become like that. So he will make them scared. He say, "Look at this. This is what you're doing, and this is what you'll become in your next life." Scaring. This is one technique. There was one book. What's the Law of Karma? I think the book name was. There was a picture of a cow in the front. A man, and somebody, a butcher, killing the cow. And instead of in the cow head, there was the person's body, the person's head on the cow's body. And instead of having the person's face on the person, it has a cow face. So that was a very good picture to people to get, to actually to make them think, what are you doing now that will come back to you? Right. So here we can see that Narad Muni very humbly he begged, and he said, I'm begging one thing from you, Mrigari. Mrigari, only one thing. Please accept it. This is from a sadhu. This is coming from a sadhu, from a saintly person. I only ask you one thing. But that became seeing the very humble attitude of the saintly person as Narad Muni. The hunter said, okay, I shall give you whatever you like. I'll accept. And then he said, if you want some animal skin, come to my house. I have so many skin, because he knows the sadhu, they sit and meditate. They sit on the deer skin or the animal skin, and then they meditate, like tiger skin, deer skin. You will always see that. So the Mrigari was saying, okay, if you come to my place, I'll give you whatever you like, whether the tiger skin you want or the deer skin, I have plenty. Then Narmi said, I don't want such things. But however, I would ask you kindly to do something. Then he said that from tomorrow, whenever you kill an animal, please kill it completely. Don't leave it half dead. Then the Migari is saying, what are you asking of me? What is the difference between half killing an animal and killing it completely? Then Narayana explained, if you half kill the animals, they suffer great pain. And if you give too much pain to other living entities, you're committing great sin. So, there is a great offense committed when you kill an animal completely, but the offense is much greater when you half kill it. And the pain which you give half-dead animals will have to be accepted by you in a future birth. So, we have to understand this nicely. As devotees, we should never try to give pain to other living entities, including human beings, including devotees. It says when we do service, a brahmana is supposed to leave a place as cleaner as he got it. That's his heart. When we do worship or when we cook in the kitchen, everything. So we make things better. When we use something, we make it in such a way that other people that are coming to use, they not be bothered. So it's an offense, actually. Just like here, Narwani is saying. It's a great offense when you commit, give pain to others. So we should, as devotees, don't ever try to give pain to other devotees by our action. When we do action, we think. Actually, a kirpan, the kirpanas, Prabhupada mentioned that the kirpanas would always perform action without considering the consequences of the action. Whereas brahmanas, they will perform action in respect to the consequences. They will think what are the repercussions of the action, analyze them, and then perform them. So when that's a movement. Our movement is meant, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that this movement is meant to train people in the Brahminical qualities. That whatever action we do, we think about the repercussions and we don't cause trouble for others. And that's an offense. So here, what you speak of offense, but here it's mentioned that causing pain is a great offense for causing others. So the hunter, although the hunter was very sinful, by this conversation with Narad Muni, his heart became soft. And he became afraid of his sins by virtue of the association with the Creator. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hoy. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Right? A moment association with a pure devotee brings out the perfections of all siddhis, perfections of all perfections of all this. So this is what happened by the association of Narad Muni, this very sinful hunter, Mrigari. Heart became softened and started becoming afraid of his sins. So we can see that those who are grossly sinful, they are not afraid of committing sins. But because the purification that happens when we are in association of a pure devotee, like Narad Muni, we become conscientious of our sinful activity, the repercussions of our action. So, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that my books will be considered the low books of religion for the next 10,000 years. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that you can get direct association with me through my books. That's why it is so important to distribute those books, because through those books, people are getting the association of Srila Prabhupada directly. And through that association, they are able to understand their sinful activities. They become afraid. They get this realization, oh yeah, that's like this hunter. So then the hunter said to Narad Muni, from our childhood, I've been taught to kill animals this way. Now, I've been doing this all these years. Now, how can I get rid of all these offenses and sinful activities which I have been accumulating all these years? Then he said, I'm surrendering your feet. And then he surrenders to Narad Muni. And begging for Narad Muni to save him from his sinful activities that he committed in the past. And asking for direction and guidance on the proper way, so as on the proper path that he has to adopt, so as he can be freed from his sinful activities. And Narad Muni mentioned that if you follow my instructions, then I can tell you the real path by which you can free from your sinful action. Then the Migari says, okay, whatever you say, without any hesitation, I'll accept. And the first thing that Narad Muni told him, Migari, is to break his bow. And then he was saying, if I break my bow, what will I do? How will I earn my livelihood? That is the only way I could eat, get my food and everything. Now he said, I shall send you sufficient grains in order to live. Don't worry. That's why Srila Prabhupada said that this whole movement, Prabhupada would say that I build a home where the whole world can stay, can live. Srila Prabhupada made all these temples, built a home for people to surrender and to live in the community, and then practice Krishna consciousness. Narad Muni didn't go, okay, abandon is when a person surrender. When a person surrenders to you, you don't abandon him. You take care of the person like a father. And Narad Muni acted like that. He mentioned that I'll take care of you. You're surrendering. I shall send sufficient grace for you in order to live. Don't worry. Then there's interaction. Then the confidence is there. Then Migari broke his bow and then surrendered completely to Narad Muni. And yes, he said, Narad Muni gave him specific instruction. You go to your home, distribute whatever valuables, money, to whatever you have to the brahmanas and the devotees, and just follow me. And wear one cloth and follow me. And then Narad Muni instruct him to construct a small hut type thatched with like a small hut on the bank of the river, the Prayag, near the Prayag forest. And he had a tulsi plant in that house, by that house, and every day he was circumambulating the tulsi tree, and every day he would take one leaf that was fallen. The fallen tulsi leaf will take one leaf, and then he would be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the instruction, one instruction also that Narad Muni gave to Mrigari is that he said that I'll send the grains, the food, right? He said that, promised to say, I'll send you all the sufficient grains in order to for subsistence. And the hunter was married also, so the wife accompanied the hunter. But Narad Muni gave specific instruction. He said that you will only accept the grain as much as you require for yourself and your wife. See, that is a very important point in the path of devotional service. We always accept as much as we require. And that will solve all the economic problems. Srila Prabhupada will give an example. I also mentioned this example before in my class. If we put some rice, a bag of rice in the street, the bird will come, will take as much as he needs, will go away. The dog will come, take some whatever he needs and go away. The squirrel will come, will take a little bit what he needs and go away. Everybody will take, all animals will take whatever they need and they will go away. But if a human being comes, he will take the whole bag. Prabhupada said. And that's the main reason for economic inequality. The whole world is creation of God's creation, and God provided everything for everyone's need. But God didn't provide everything for everyone's greed. Krishna provided everything for everyone's need. Each and every living entity can live happily on this planet, but didn't provide anything for everyone's greed. So that's a very important point. If we try to understand this, our life will be very, very peaceful. We will always accept as much as we require. And that's what's the main. But after giving the grains, providing the grains, that was one instruction Narad Muni gave to the hunter. So Narad Muni, then the half-dead animals, so the way he relieved them and freed them from their condition. He took out the arrow and freed those animals. And when he was doing that, the hunter became really, he was surprised and he was struck. Actually, he said, "How is this happening?" And then he surrendered again to Narad Muni. He bowed again to his feet. And when the hunter was practicing this devotion, executing his instruction of his spiritual master, trying to speed his spiritual master. Now news spread around the villages that this hunter became a very great devotee. And what happened? The residents of the villages came to see him. And usually in tradition, whenever in India, whenever we go to a temple or to a saintly person, we always bring some gift like fruits, grains, and everything. And this is what happened. And that's a Vedic tradition. So the hunter started getting grains, fruits, and everyone was coming to see him, the villagers. And he got whatever eatables he wanted to. Now you don't have to worry about where his food is coming and what. So every day he was offering fruits. He was being offered fruits and grains by all the villagers. And he had plenty. So now he started realizing when things are happening, then he started getting more realization. By this realization, his faith is increasing. So now he is not worried because he and his wife was being sustained properly. See, all the arrangement was perfect. So after some days passed, then Narad Muni told his friend Parvat Muni that that he has a disciple. Let us go and see how my disciple is doing. So he said, let us go and see him. So when these when Narad Muni and Parvat Muni went to see the hunter's home, so it was in a distance. From a distance, he was coming, and the hunter could see, Mrigari could see that his spiritual master is coming from a distance. So he began to approach with walk towards his spiritual master with good respect. But on his way, he was moving here and there, trembling here and there on his way. He wasn't coming straight, but he was jumping here and there like that. And when he reached his spiritual master, he bowed down, Danod Pranam. And Narad Muni saw and he was so happy to see him and how his life changed. And he asked his disciple, Gary, when you were coming, why you were jumping here and there? What you were doing? Then Gary said, when I was coming, there were ants on the ground. So I was trying not to crush them, and avoiding them in my while coming to you, because I didn't want to give any pain to the ants. And now Narmani is saying, look at this person. A few months ago, he was getting pleasure. He was feeling happy to half kill and giving pain to these different animals in the forest. And now he doesn't want to give any pain, any sort of pain, even to an ant. So that is the main thing here. The transformation of bhakti, the qualities of bhakti, simply by chanting Hare Krishna and following the order of the spiritual master, all these qualities, these good qualities, we have 64 qualities of Krishna, 4 qualities we can't go, we can develop up to like 58% of the qualities. So all these different qualities are automatically achieved simply by the performance of bhakti. This is a very nice story from the Skanda Puran, in elaborating this aspect of how this change of heart can take place and how all these different qualities can be automatically achieved. Oh my God, it's 8:32. We have, what's the time now? Anybody? Haribol?
It is 8:32, Babuji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, it took too much time today. Usually I finish by 8 and then we can have discussion. But the story was so nice that I wanted to talk more about that. Sorry I took much time. So let me finish here so as we can discuss more. Any question or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Accept my humble obeisances. This is Anil.
Hare Krishna, Anil, Prabhu.
Yeah, nice class, Prabhu. You mentioned about the chastisement of Guru. I was just curious about. So if you see that chastisement is from Guru is always good, but if you see a chastisement of a senior devotee to another devotee, what should be our reaction? I mean, I'm just
good question. Good question, Anil. See, I like you when you ask questions. This is very important. Chastisement is something that we have to understand very carefully. Our Vaishnav interaction also should be understood. It should be understood not separately, but should be understood according to our Vaishnava etiquette. For instance, suppose we have, but all these are based on three types of relationship. The three types of relationship are as follows. Basically, if we interacting with a devotee who is senior to us, who is much more advanced to us, then we should interact, take a humble position and take instruction and give respect. If we're interacting with a devotee which is same level as us, then our interaction can be friendly. Exchange, respect are always there, but it's more friendly, like satbhav, like the bhav is like those, like friendship. And if we're interacting with a devotee who is junior to us, then should be fatherly, more caring, right? More compassionate. If there's some mistakes being done, then we forgive, we more work like a father, we forgive like a father, we guide, we give instruction like that. Now, if you're in a situation when you see some devotee chastising another devotee, you are the third person observing these two, and you see that there is something wrong, then you have to know what is your relationship vis-a-vis in response to those two other devotees. Whether you are a friend, or whether you are a senior devotee, or you are a junior devotee. Now, suppose the person chastising the other is a senior devotee, and you feel that he is chastising for the wrong reason or something is wrong there, then you can't, according to Vaishnava etiquette, directly approach him and say something to him. What is prescribed in the scripture is that you should approach another devotee who is same level as the other devotee, who is senior, and that senior devotee is going to recommend and talk about what the situation, that I heard this is like that, and that is a situation. If you, being a junior devotee, are approaching directly to the senior devotee and say something that will be offensive, and that will escalate the things and make it more problematic. So that's the situation. And if the devotee being chastised, and in corresponding to you, you are a senior devotee, and then he's a junior devotee, then you can approach that junior devotee and give counseling and ask him or tell something. Okay, this is situation and this having like that's why it is like that and like that. So all the different interactions are based on this three principle type of interchanges between these three levels of devotees. And on the other hand, if that senior devotee who is chastising the junior devotee is your friend, like same level, then you can intervene and calm the person and as a friend. You got that now?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So the point is, the chastisement is not the main concern. The main concern is the interaction among the devotees. Because then when you go deeper in what's happening, see, drishti badal jata hai. Our whole conception and seeing the world changes when we become devotee. So, and it's protected by the Vaishnava etiquette, by the Vaishnava way of behavior. Following the Vaishnava behavior, we're able to understand things in a more proper way, with a more proper vision, spiritual vision on the transcendental platform. Following the Vaishnava behavior, we are able to be transcendent our consciousness to the transcendental platform and see in a different way. So instead of responding to react to that particular situation, we are responding to the situation, and we are able to see a different aspect, and then we can apply our knowledge to it. Then we will see that whatever happening is karmic activity, or according to the scripture, it's happened like that, all this story, all the philosophy comes into practice, and you can see how the Gita is at work, how the philosophy of the Bhagavatam is at work. Your involvement in that interaction, what's happening, it should be according to this free relationship that I described, and we should see in the other Shastra. In that, justice will be made, because you know how to deal with a particular situation. Unfortunately, what I've been seeing now, whenever things escalate and problems happens, they don't apply it on the spot. But to be in a safe side, you should always, when something is happening like the two devotees, the best is to don't get involved. But if you see the pain and of the devotee, and then you want to, and then you're in a position of helping, then we should extend and go out of our way to help the devotee. Both, because the person chastising also, he will feel pain, and the person receiving the chastisement also will be painful. But who will be help is depend on their seniority level. So a senior devotee is going to talk to them, and then interaction will heal. The healing will take place. The junior devotee, junior, the healing will take place. It's all healing will take place, because there's karmic activity involved. So there should be healing after the karmic activity. And in living in this devotee community, we help each other to heal. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have the same, like, I'm sorry to interrupt it. The same question, like, it's just I wanna ask. Yeah, just like I have one question, like, in this connection. Okay, for example, for example, okay, I am the person who is being, like, chastised by other devotee, and which I don't like, just for no reason. Like, some devotees, for example, maybe, like, okay, try to be bossy or, like, dominant. The nature is like that. Like in the community, in the group, like, oh, I'm the leader. You have to follow me. You have to understand, like, what I'm doing, and you should follow everything. And otherwise, you cannot progress your spiritual life. You cannot advance if you don't, listen to me. Like, some kind of devotee's nature is like that. And if, for example, if I am the victim of that, and how should I respond to this kind of situation? How can I get rid of this kind? Because I don't like this kind of situation. Very good. So very good. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. So the point is, thank you for the question. Very nice. See, now, if I am a junior devotee and the other devotee is a senior devotee and he is chastising me, according to the scripture, we should practice we will take a humble position. We take the chastisement. We pray to Krishna to give me the Shakti so as I can see devotees take things in a positive way. From experience, I'm telling you this. If I go against that, if I try to fight back, it will be no good for me and no good for the devotee. It will cause more harm than good. So what's the use of fighting back? The best thing is to take a humble position, just like Narad Muni. He didn't fight back for the animals. He didn't go and right away saying, oh, this is wrong, whatever. No, he didn't say all this. He said humbly he said. Humbly he mentioned that, oh, why are you doing this like that? So I'm sorry, I because of me all these animals are going away and everything. So the best, in that situation, the best thing to do is not to react, but to respond to the situation. And when you respond to the situation, you say sorry, by taking a humble position. Usually when you take a humble position and you say sorry, the other person is more able to process the information when you become more humbler, especially the senior one. If somebody who's an authority on a management level, authority level, when you take a humble position, you become more, they are more easily understood. Whereas if you are in a junior position than a manager position, the person, if you react to the situation trying to overcome, then there is more clash. So experience will take a humble position. Now, I'm not saying this just in a question of justice or injustice. I'm just saying this is a question of spiritual life, because the quality of humility, of tolerance, is not to be cultivated only by reading books. It's cultivated on the in action. We should be thankful to Krishna and to that devotee that I am getting an opportunity to express my humility and to reinforce my tolerance, to make me tolerant to make me more tolerant, they give him an opportunity for me to become more tolerant, even if there is some injustice. It's a test for us to become more tolerant. When will we get this opportunity? They are creating the opportunity. Krishna is creating the opportunity through this person. We should take it like that. That Krishna is teaching me to become more humble. Krishna is teaching me to become more tolerant. Krishna is teaching me to become free from any false prestige by this situation. Now, there's another aspect. My Guru Maharaj says, पाप करना तो पाप है, पाप सहना महापाप है. To commit to cause harm, just like we mentioned here, to come harm to other living entities. To cause harm to other living entities is sinful. To talk to cause harm to a devotee or to make a devotee suffer is sinful. Now, the person is dominant by nature and purposefully trying to make the devotee suffer, maybe that gives him pleasure, then Bhakti Mata won't stay in the heart. It will be detrimental to the person itself. So if the person, even if is senior devotee and is practicing bhakti, if he's performing like that, bhakti won't stay in the heart. Bhakti Mata will go away from the heart. So he needs help. The person needs help. But since I am in a junior position, he will never ask help from me. So what you should do, you should get another senior devotee and request a senior devotee to help the person chastising and causing harm. So, for us, in that situation, we are always in a positive, actually we're taking everything positively. We're not taking any negatively. We're even thinking, uska bhala soch rahe hain. We are thinking the benefit of him. We are even trying to take care of the person who is trying to give us harm, cause us harm. This is Vaishnava. Vaishnava is always trying to help, always trying to think good about the person, and always trying to help the other person. Even if the person is trying to harm us, we are trying to help. Like example I gave last time, there was a sage on a bank of a river, and there was a scorpion in the water. And he was trying to save the scorpion. But each time you try to pick up the scorpion and put on the shore, the scorpion will bite the sage hand. And again the scorpion will go back into the water. And again he will pick at the scorpion and put in the rock there. the disciple is saying to the Sage, why are you doing that? He's biting you each and every time. He says, my dharma, my nature is to save his life. But his nature is to bite me. I am doing my duty, that's my dharma, and the scorpion is doing his duty, biting. So, this is a Vaishnava. We have to raise our consciousness to a higher level of transcendental level and act like Vaishnava. And the way that can be done is through Vaishnav Vyavahar, Vaishnav Acharya, Acharan, Vaishnav etiquette. That is very, very important. And that should be encouraged in our devotee community. And that interaction will save lots of souls. Okay, I think I answered the question. Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you very much. It's very nice. Yes, and I understood. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. What's your name, Prabhu?
My name is Rohini Kumar Balaram Das. I am from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Prabhu.
Very nice name you have, Rohini Kumar Balaram Das. Very long name. My God, that's nice.
My Guru Maharaj gave me this name.
Very good. You should be strong like Balaram.
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Any other question from any other comments? Haribol?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Sham Gauri Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, very, very nice class and very, very story. You we got absorbed in the story. So very touching and very, we can learn lesson from the story.
Yeah, so we should, that's for our New Year resolution, we should try to, forgive and forget. Any type of issue that we have against any devotee, we should try to become more humble and try to forgive and forget, And bahut kam samay hamare paas. We have very, very less time. In this less time, I'm telling you guys that we have so much literature, so much knowledge, so much things to do. Why to get problem with people in this planet? Doesn't make any sense. We should live a very peaceful life and absorb the Bhagavatam and try to see things in a spiritual way. Dividrishti. We say no. Om Ajnana Timnasa Jnana Jnana Shalakya Chakshur Anumalitam Yena Tasmay Guruvena. The Guru, this Chakshur, Divya Chakshur. We say, my spiritual master, open my eyes with the Divya Gyan, with the Divya Chakshur. So we have to see the world with Divya Chakshur instead of seeing the world with our own eyes. That should be the New Year resolution for this year. Yeah. And we are very thankful to you, Mataji, that you are providing this platform. So when we can discuss all these things and help each other. And that's what the goal of discussion. Discussion, why I always encourage people to ask questions and to discuss. Because by discussing, then we're able to have answers to our doubts, and then we have proper redirection. Suppose we are going in a certain direction, and then we can really get redirected properly in the association of devotees. That's like this Mrigari, he got redirected by the association of Narayana Muni. So with our association with all the devotees, we can get proper direction and guidance, and we make our life blissful in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? question or comments from anybody?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice discussion and question and answers of the questions. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. No comments today, Mataji? Last week we did nice comments.
Very, very wonderful.
You can say something. I like you when you talk something.
Like what?
Last week you mentioned about Prabhupada and anything. Today share something.
Yes, I was thinking about this. You know that the two groups are separate. And from one group, this one came out separate. So I was thinking it would be nice with the both places. We have very nice speakers, and I want to hear the both of them, but I can only hear one at a time. Then I have to hear the recording of the other. So I was feeling so much kind of in a dilemma what to do. If I can help in any way, if they can unite and have both their group work together, would be very, very nice and will be very congenial, and we can advance spiritually also and not have this things on the mind that, thinking about it like that. So, but I don't know what I do. If I can help.
We respect your feelings, Mataji. Just like in a family, we have the dada and the dadi, then we have the kids, and then their family. So when two brothers or two sister and brother, they fight, they go to their father and mother, then everything is settled down, like get united together. So you're like our grandmother. And your husband is our grandfather. So whenever there's problem, we come to you, we talk. That's a good way of seeing things. You feel you're looking at like elder people. Look, this is good way. That is the beauty of the family. I mentioned the extended family in the old days. It is how it was. So we have our spiritual master, of course. Our spiritual master is like our father as well. And our grand spiritual master is like our Prabhupada is like our grandfather. So that's the whole mood in our movement, to be in that way. All these things that happens is due to modes of material nature. It happens, but at the end of the day, since time is short, it's always better to look in the in the long run, that we have to live our life nicely. And it's possible because Vaishnava heart are very soft. Tumhara hriday Govinda Vishram. A Vaishnava heart is where Govinda Vishram, is where Krishna rests. It's like a pillowcase for Krishna. So let us all our heart be like that, where Govinda and Bhaktimata can stay in our heart always.
Yes.
So I think this year your wish can be true. Sure. And that the blessings of the devotees and everybody work out together. I'm very positive that it's not something that is impossible to happen. It is very, very well possible to happen.
Yes, it will be nice. It will be wonderful, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Any other comment, question from anybody? People? Nobody? Shamguni Mataji?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. I think devotee has to go to the work today.
Yeah. So thank you again, Mataji, for hosting this program. That is so nice. Everybody can help. And so we end now. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Let's pay our obeisances to the Prabhuji. Panchakalpatarubhyo.
Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Jai Vishwa Thakur Shri Prabhupada ki jai. All glory.